On January 5, 1946, a baby girl named Diane Hall was born in Los Angeles, California. Her dad, Jack Hall, worked in real estate and as a civil engineer. Her mom, Dorothy, was a stay-at-home mother who loved taking photos. Dorothy had once won a contest called Mrs. Los Angeles for homemakers, and young Diane watched her mom on that stage. She saw the lights, the attention, and the excitement. Right then, something clicked inside her. She wanted to be in the spotlight too. The Hall family wasn't connected to Hollywood at all. They lived regular lives in regular neighborhoods. There were 4 children total, and Diane was the oldest. In their home, being creative was encouraged, but nobody expected any of them to become famous. Dorothy's photography hobby filled their house with pictures, teaching young Diane to see the world differently. Like looking through a camera lens, by the time Diane got to Santa Ana High School in California, she had jumped into every singing and acting club she could find. She starred as Blanche Dubois in a school play of a streetcar named Desire. This was a really hard role for anyone, let alone a teenager. But somehow, playing broken, complicated women felt natural to Diane. After graduating in 1963, Diane went to college to study acting, but classrooms couldn't hold her big dreams. After just 1 year, she made a decision that scared her family. She dropped out, packed her bags, and moved to New York City to become an actress. The city didn't welcome her with open arms. She was just another girl with a dream in a city packed with them. She enrolled at the neighborhood playhouse to learn her craft. Money was really tight. To pay her bills, she worked as a nightclub singer at night, performing in small places where nobody knew her name. But there was a problem with her real name. When she tried to register with Actors Equity, she found out another actress named Diane Hall had already taken that name. So she borrowed her mother's maiden name. Diane Hall became Diane Keaton. The rejections piled up. Audition after audition ended in silence. She was too quirky, too nervous, too different. Casting directors saw her awkwardness as a problem. They didn't understand yet that her nervous energy would become her greatest strength. Still, she kept showing up, kept trying out for parts, kept believing there was a place for someone like her. Then came an audition for a strange, new Broadway musical called Hair. It opened on Broadway in 1968. Diane Keaton was part of the group cast, one face among many. It wasn't a starring role, but it was a beginning. She was a working actress now. The following year brought something even bigger. Woody Allen was putting together his new comedy play, Play It Again, Sam. He needed a romantic lead. Diane auditioned and got the part. The chemistry between them was immediate and electric. She earned a Tony Award nomination. More importantly, she had found a creative partner who understood her like nobody else did. Their professional partnership would span 8 films together. Their personal relationship would become one of Hollywood's most talked about romances. But before Woody Allen would make her a star, Francis Ford Coppola would make her a legend. In 1972, Coppola was casting The Godfather. Diane showed up to audition without ever having read the book. She had no idea what part she was trying out for. They cast her as Kay Adams, the woman who would become Michael Corleone's wife. Here's where the story becomes really interesting. Diane Keaton was cast before Al Pacino got his role. The movie studio bosses didn't want Pacino for Michael. Diane was already confirmed when they brought Pacino in for another audition. The studio finally gave in and gave him the role that would make him famous. The Godfather became one of the greatest films ever made. Diane Keaton brought quiet strength to Kay Adams, a woman who watches the man she loves turn into a monster. She was the outsider looking in, the moral compass in a world without morals. She came back for the sequel in 1974, and later for the third movie in 1990. The Godfather films made her famous, but Annie Hall in 1977 made her an icon. Woody Allen didn't just cast her in the film, he wrote it for her. He built the character around her quirks, the way she talked, her mannerisms. He even used her real birth name for the character. Annie Hall was Diane Keaton, and Diane Keaton was Annie Hall. The film won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Diane Keaton took home the Oscar for Best Actress. Overnight, she became more than a star. She became a cultural phenomenon. Women everywhere started copying her look. The oversized men's shirts, the vests and ties, the bowler hats and baggy pants. Fashion magazines declared her a style icon. She hadn't followed trends, she had created them. The romance between Diane and Woody Allen eventually ended. So did their period of constant collaboration. But something remarkable happened afterward. Most Hollywood romances leave wreckage behind. Diane Keaton and Woody Allen remained close. They continued to support each other's work. Their creative partnership had transformed into something stronger than romance. Success brought attention to her personal life. The names linked to hers read like a Hollywood Hall of Fame. Woody Allen, Al Pacino, Warren Beatty, 3 of the most famous men in the industry. Each romance was intense. Each eventually ended, and after each ending, Diane Keaton made a choice that confused observers. She didn't marry any of them. She didn't marry anyone in an industry obsessed with weddings and power couples. Diane Keaton stayed single. Interviewers asked her about it constantly. Why no marriage? She had an answer. She simply didn't want to make those sacrifices. The compromises that marriage required didn't appeal to her. She valued her independence too much. Her career continued to flourish. The 1980s brought Reds, which earned her another Academy Award nomination. Then came roles that introduced her to new generations. Father of the Bride in 1991 cast her alongside Steve Martin. The film was a massive hit. First Wives Club in 1996 reunited her with Bette Midler and Goldie Hawn, becoming a cultural touchstone. Something's Gotta Give in 2003 paired her with Jack Nicholson. She earned her 4th Academy Award nomination at age 57. But perhaps her most radical choice had nothing to do with film. In 1996, at age 50, Diane Keaton adopted a daughter named Dexter. 5 years later, at 55, she adopted a son named Duke. She became a mother on her own terms, without a husband, without apology. Motherhood changed her in ways she hadn't expected. The American Film Institute honored her with a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017. Woody Allen presented it decades after their romance had ended. At the ceremony, instead of giving a speech, she sang. The song was one she had performed in Annie Hall 40 years earlier. It was pure Diane Keaton, expected, authentic, utterly herself. What separated Diane Keaton from other stars was hard to define. She was generous on set, more interested in making others look good than hogging the spotlight. There was no competitive edge to her, no Hollywood ego. What audiences saw was exactly who she was. That authenticity extended beyond acting. She became passionate about saving historic buildings. She wrote memoirs. Her style remained iconic in